By heck, it's a hot one today. They reckon it's going to be the hottest day of the year. So, I'll put my cap on, I think. That's better. Yeah, it's a little bit better, that. Well, how is everybody today? What's happening? Well, you know what I'm doing. We're sort of easing out of this lockdown process, but with still a lot of concerns about the things we can do and things we can't do, and a lot of uncertainty as far as what's going to happen. There isn't a lot of coverage really as well in terms of when yes, today's a beautifully hot day and most people should be out, outside in the fresh air, because if you don't go out in this weather then you're never going to go out. But there's a lot of people still thinking with regards to the future in terms of this pandemic. What's going to happen in the cooler months as we get into autumn and winter, and how are we going to react to that as a country and as individuals. Well, clearly another lockdown of the sort of lockdown we've been going through over the last few months would be absolutely a catastrophe for this country, because obviously it would then take place over the Christmas period as well. From a trading point of view, it's the busiest time for the retailers, and also the hospitals generally are much fuller. There's a lot more activity going on in hospitals as we get into the colder weather. So the NHS then has that additional problem to deal with as well, which they haven't had really. They haven't been under pressure at all with the coronavirus up to now. So yes, there's quite a lot of speculation and quite a lot of thought from people who have some knowledge. Bird singing. And it's of concern. I've been following the pandemic in other countries that I know well and been looking at how they are coping with the situation. And although they've taken drastic measures of lockdown, and they've had a fairly high rate of infections, they seem to have tolerated fewer deaths if I talk about the Philippines as an example. They've sort of went into a lockdown period when we did. They're coming out of theirs now as well. It's easing. And they've had infections coming through. But their death rate is significantly lower than ours. I think they're talking something like 1,150 odd deaths in the Philippines. And South Africa is another country that has, again, it locked down similar time frame to us, coming out of its lockdown phases now. And again, although infections have been growing, and are still growing in fact, the number of fatalities has been, again, relatively low. Just over the 1,000 mark, I think it is for them as well. So it's strange that there's been different effects. I think it says to me, more than anything, we've got a much well, I can't say we've had an elderly nation. I think we've got an unfitter nation. We've got a more obese nation. Our people tend to be, totally unfit and relying on medication to sort out their woes rather than natural science, as it were. They put anything into their bodies. We eat too much, we drink too much, and we don't exercise enough. And that's what it boils down to. And I think that's what's causing the fatalities in our country in comparison with countries like the Philippines and South Africa, where you see a lot less obesity. Yes, people are outside more, and obviously that would have a logical reason as well. And but yeah, people I think are generally fitter and use more natural remedy for those milder illnesses to keep their immune systems high. Right at the beginning of this pandemic, I talked about the things we need to do. First of all, things we need to do to ensure we don't catch COVID-19 in the first place. Do's and don'ts of what you need to do around your house, everything else. And then I covered the video on if you have COVID, what's your body got to do to fight it, to beat it, and therefore what your body needs to consist of in terms of the immune system, what you've got to get to in terms of, because there's no immunity for COVID-19, but your body, if it's in a healthy state, it has more chance of beating off the virus. I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it, really? Whereas if your body is not in a healthy state, it has less chance, because apart from your lungs are under pressure, your kidneys are being attacked, your liver's everything is under pressure, including your heart. So you end up in a situation. So if those are already taking strain with your lifestyle, then you're catching a disease which is going to require your organs being at a level of fitness that can deal with it. Because your immune system reacts in a very strange way with COVID. It's established. It goes berserk. Everything goes everywhere in its efforts to try and fight the disease. And this tends to put more pressure on your other vital organs of your body, and that's what's causing the deaths in respect to the UK. That's obvious, and that's why I put it back as being the main reason why we have the more deaths than, say, the Philippines. We have people who are living on pills. I'm talking about people in their 50s plus, living on more pills to sort out ailments, not having sufficient exercise, eating totally the wrong diet, and slowly killing themselves. That's what's happening. Anyway, enough on that. The football's been perking up a little bit. Liverpool had a good victory yesterday, didn't they? 4-0 against Crystal Palace, and Manchester United also had a good win over Sheffield United yesterday, 3-0. So, they're still in the hunt for a place in Manchester United, that is. They're still in the hunt for a place in Europe next year. I see Wolves also had a good result yesterday. The thing with Liverpool now, in terms of when are they actually going to be crowned champions? Well, it could well be it could be based on the result between Chelsea and Manchester City. It could be as soon as that, or it might be they have to go another game with another good victory to make it happen. But it's coming. It's very close now. So all those Liverpool fans out there can rest assured that they can soon get the red scarves out and stop worrying about are they going to make it or not, because I'm sure we know they are. I'm particularly pleased with Manchester United finding their form again. They seem to be fit. They've fixed their problems, and they're looking more like a team of old now, I must say. So I'd put them in close proximity to Man City and Liverpool. I wouldn't say they're quite there yet, but kicking off next season, if they carry on with their current form, they're going to be a lot closer than what they were this year. You know, they're possibly, it's them and it's Chelsea below Liverpool and Manchester City at this stage. So that would be the four teams. I think Tottenham, yeah, probably grab the fifth position. I don't know where Arsenal are going to finish, quite honestly. I can't comment on them. Leicester City are still up there, obviously, with hope and a chance, as are Wolves. And obviously I hope Sheffield United get back on form. They've been a little bit disappointing since we've come out of this long period of the shutdown. They haven't shown their form what it was before, and I hope they don't sort of whimper out in this championship now, in this league. I hope they still maintain a strength. Unfortunately, the games they should have won recently, they've just apart from Manchester United, I didn't expect them to, and that I didn't anticipate them winning. I did expect them to beat Newcastle, and I did expect them to beat Aston Villa. You know, and that is key. I mean, Aston Villa are certainly going to go down. I can't see them coming back out, as will Norwich. I say Aston Villa. I just think Aston Villa have got too much work to do, and they're in that danger area. Norwich are out. There's no doubt about that. So I think Aston Villa are definitely out. Who's the other one that's going to go? I think it's possibly going to be a West Ham, possibly. Looking at the way I've seen them playing lately, it's difficult. Definitely, I think Aston Villa. Definitely, I think Norwich. Arsenal, they're not going to go out, obviously, but I have concerns with who they're playing now. They're playing next now Southampton, aren't they? Yeah, you see, that's going to be a worrying game for them as well. They've lost the last couple of games, and I think they're going to lose again against Southampton, if you ask me, which will be a disaster. Anyway, enough football, because I know enough of you don't follow the game. When it comes to this is our summer, by the way. Today is our summer break. We're not going to have any more sun after today. The rains are going to come tomorrow with the thunderstorms that are coming over from the continent. And I think, this is welcome to the UK. You caught the summer. You caught the summer. You were here on the right day. If the weather wants to bother you, it doesn't bother me at all. If you want to live in a warm country, then you must go and live in a warm country. Don't choose the UK. Don't live in the UK if you can't handle the weather. It goes without saying. Where's my? Oh, he's over there. Something for my dog. There is some potential opportunity to get some warmer weather coming through in July. On the forecast, it's been said we might get some, and we'll wait and see. But I don't let the weather get me down. In the UK, I think it's important, when you're in a country that in the Philippines, for example, a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. That's all I need, and a changeable wash. You can wear the same shorts, t-shirt, underwear, and then have a set in the wash. Constantly, it dries within a matter of half an hour. And you just change it. You don't need a lot of clothes, honestly. Goodness knows what Richie's going to do with her wardrobe she's got, because she's collected, I don't know. She says she's going to need it in the Philippines. But I don't think there's any hope of her wearing, well, she doesn't wear all of it now. So why is she going to wear more of it in the Philippines? I think realistically, you don't need a lot of clothing in the Philippines. You need a a few t-shirts, a few shorts, a couple of pairs of sandals. That's it. Obviously some good headgear. And that's it. Nothing else. Chill out. Chill out, you know, in that weather. Watch the moringa grow. I was wondering if you could smoke, you know, I was talking to somebody yesterday about moringa and about the leaves being crushed into powder, and the process of using the bark as well, and then obviously the fruit, the pods that moringa grow, these fruit pods. And I was asked, you know, about can the leaves be dried and rolled for smoking, and does that do you good? So I thought, well, yes, there might be some benefit. I mean, so it could be a whole new world of smoking habits that could be brought into the equation as well, which would, you know, I'm not talking about wacky-backy, I'm talking about genuine health that could be put into either the vapes that are here now, which have the fruit vape, etc. So we can have a moringa vape, and also the vaping that can go on. The ordinary smoking, traditional smoking, where you dry the leaves, roll them, and have them as a cigarette. But instead of you're inhaling the smoke, but as long as this you're not putting tar into your lungs. I think that's the important thing. I think the problem with smoking is it's what effectively goes into the lungs. But who knows? I mean, it's worth having a look at and seeing where one could trial that, because that could have significant benefit if it could replace tobacco and be healthy. It would be a golden winner in every possible way. Reminds me of, you know, I used to, my dad, when he was, I used to come back from the Middle East, and in Kuwait, when I was at the airport, and in Dubai actually, they have where they duty free is, they have an enclosed area, temperature controlled, for cigars. And there'd be all kinds of cigars there, you know, King Edward's, the Cuban cigars and everything else, they'd all be there. And I would buy boxes of them for my dad, because he loved a cigar. And obviously cigars have always been quite expensive over here, so you wouldn't buy them very often. He'd buy them, but not often. I'd come back with boxes, and he had so many he could hand them out. And my mother always used to say, "Don't," but he always asked for some cigars. Well, if you could get me some cigars. So I'd always make a point of getting cigars every time I went through, and that was often, because I used to be going through the duty free fairly often. So I'd always make sure I bought a couple of large boxes of Cuban, usually, cigars. What do they call them? Romeo and Juliets? I don't know. Various types, anyway. And occasionally I'd have a cigar. I'd smoke a cigar. Special occasions. And they were, it was pleasant. It was the aroma. I think more to do with the aroma that a cigar gives off, which is it's the fun thing about cigar smoking. My father always used to reckon when the ash falls off the cigar into the carpet and you rub it in with your feet, it's good for the carpet. I don't know about that. But that was good. I'm still waiting for family videos of my dad, so I can introduce him he did a lot of narrative on video, on holidays, and going back 30 years ago. And I want to get to a situation where I can put some of that together, and then show it, so I can introduce him and share some dialogue of what he was doing and thinking at a particular point in time, and my mother as well, of course. But But I've still got to get the material from my family, who are a little bit reluctant to give it to me for some reason or other. I don't know why, if they've got something on there that they don't want to see of themselves. But I mean, I'm open to censorship, that's not a problem. But what I want to do is get it so I can preserve it on MP4 so it doesn't die with us. You know, that if there's a tape that somebody's got something on that they don't like, so they're holding on to it until they die, and then someone's going to find it and play it anyway. So it's probably best to give it to me now so I can remove the offending piece of literature or material, whatever it is, and then put the stuff together. No, but really what I wanted to do was, I've got enough, I know there's enough material out there of my mum and dad so I could introduce them in terms of things they're talking about with me or my sisters when they've been on holiday in places like South Africa and here. In fact, I've got even material, I'm sure, somewhere of my grandparents that was taken on video as well. So all this is quite important. Anyway, heating up now, so I've got to get on and do some work. This video will be the video for today, and I will talk to you again tomorrow. So have a good day.